Given the right kind of training, a correctional officer could really benefit from having this information. I can have my eyes open to those kinds of perpetrators.
The National Institute of Corrections has been tasked with doing, I think, what they probably do best, and that is to offer training and technical assistance to the field.
A lot of times it's the rapport that you build up with the inmates, whereas they can come to you.
Well, the Prison Rape Elimination Act contains a very substantial grant program.
The intent of the law is to address all sexual assault in correctional facilities. The law covers inmate-on-inmate assault, but additionally speaks very clearly to the important area of staff sexual misconduct with inmates. Under the law, rape is discussed not only as violent penetration, but also as sexual fondling and coercive acts of a sexual nature.
We don't tolerate that type of behavior. We take disciplinary action against them if they're caught or involved in that type of relationship, because it's just not appropriate.
Look, listen up, man. I hear you need some protection, man.
No, I don't need no protection.
Look,
I'm all right.
my bitch.
No, it's not happening.
I can protect you from
I don't need
everybody
protection.
in here, man.
Prison rape breeds more violence in the institutions. It reinforces the idea that staff is not in charge of what happens in the facilities. It empowers inmates others. Inmates will fight in order to make it clear that they are not about to be victims.
Not only is this going to be an issue for the staff member who's involved, but it's also going to be an employment issue for the head of the corrections department, okay, because that person will ultimately be held liable either civilly, criminally, or in terms of loss of employment.
The bottom line to all of this is public safety and how an inmate may respond to the anger, the frustration, being victimized in such a manner could play itself out in the community.
There's also a very, if offenders are rejoining us in our communities and they have higher incidence of sexually transmitted diseases.
I think prison rape will probably be like other sex offenses, which means that they'll be underreported. Prevalence will be hard to figure out.
It's clear that the new law will require a survey that determines the incidence of prison rape, that there will be a sample of prisons, jails, police lockups, community corrections all across the nation, and that in every state there will be some research done.
Just as in the past you received the census from the Bureau of Justice Statistics, you will be getting a questionnaire that specifically relates to inmate-on-inmate rape and staff sexual misconduct, and you are required to fill out that form.
The actual facilities will be sampled randomly. We will be selecting about 10% of the 8,700 facilities nationwide. We are required under the Act to select at least one prison in every state, one jail in every state, and one juvenile facility in every state. We are developing methodologies for victim self-reports. This methodology is known as audio CASI, audio computer-assisted self-interviewing, and we'll be testing those methodologies in the next 18 months.
Based on that information and on that data collection, the Prison Rape Elimination Act provides for a process where the jurisdictions that have the highest incidence and the two lowest incidents of misconduct or rape are then called in for hearing to talk about what went wrong or to talk about what went well. And I think that that's a really positive development.
I welcome the opportunity to have that information gathered and shared with me in a way that I can then take it and use it in a positive way, and know either it'll validate that what we're doing is working and positive, or it'll tell me that we're not doing enough.
The information that we get from this research will certainly inform us all as to the amount of sexual assault that's occurring in correctional facilities.
I think the important part for correctional administrators now is to do what I'm beginning to certainly see happening, and that's really step up to the plate, to name this as an important issue, to use the resources that they have to do good training with staff and put policy in place, and to also use the resources available now through the National Institute of Corrections for technical assistance. There are some very practical ways that administrators can do that without it being very costly.
As administrators, we need to provide leadership on this issue. We need to make it clear to our staff that we do not want it swept under the rug, that in fact we want to know when these cases occur, and that we expect our personnel to respond effectively and to report properly, and that if they fail to intervene and if they fail to report, then they will be held accountable.
At the end of the day, our responsibility is to ensure the safety and security of those persons remanded to our custody.
When an inmate comes forward with an allegation that he has been raped, sexually abused, staff need to respond. One of the protocols should be immediate referral to health services for a medical evaluation.
Okay, what's your name, sir?
Charles.
The use of rape kits is a necessity.
They need to do a physical examination, and they need to retain whatever evidence they can.
Okay.
All right?
The investigation is very important. It must be done swiftly, and it must be done thoroughly.
2 inmates were holding me down.
Evidence should be carefully collected and properly stored. An inmate who makes an allegation of this nature must be put in a safe place where he is not subject to retaliation. Mental health services must be ready to assist the inmate in working through the depression, the anger, and the feelings of responsibility that an inmate may have. The findings must be carefully documented. There must be statements taken from witnesses.
It had nothing to do with that shit, man.
There must be interrogation of suspects. There must be careful description of physical evidence, and it must all be. These cases, if founded, should result in discipline and possibly prosecution.
You know, there is liability for the institution. The first question is whether you had policies, procedures, training in place to prevent this. Did you investigate it properly? And did you sanction properly?
To get the Prison Rape Elimination Act into reality, it's a shift. There has to be this whole new approach to how we manage offenders, both within our institutions and in the community.
We're going to get you someone to talk to. We're going to move you to protective custody. You don't need to worry about that. But what I need...
Much of that lies with how we treat people.
Do I think that's going to make it all go away and it not to be anywhere? I'm not that naive, but do I think that it's the right thing to do and what we should take the responsibility to do? Yes.
If we deny that prison rape occurs, we're sticking our heads in the sand. As correctional professionals, we have an obligation to run safe and secure institutions. Prison rape complicates that mission, and we deny it at our peril.
The video you have just watched is intended to assist you in understanding the scope of the Prison Rape Elimination Act. This introductory video and companion training resource kit emphasizes the importance each of you have in implementing policy and practice that assures compliance with the law. The law covers many areas of correctional practice and requires response from every correctional system in the United States. With the help of experienced practitioners and in close partners, NIC will continue to offer assistance to the field through a major NIC Institute initiative on prison rape. During the last decade, NIC has provided numerous strategies to address staff sexual misconduct, one aspect of the law. While our work in this area continues, we will additionally focus on the dynamics of inmate-on-inmate assault and the ways in which sexual exploitation occurs in our institutions. As with staff sexual misconduct, we recognize the importance of offering strategies specific to the various populations we serve. For instance, we understand the dynamics will be different in women's facilities just as there are differences in jails and prisons and community corrections. Please visit our NIC website at nicic.org or call us at 1-800-995-6423 to learn more about resources to address the Prison Rape Elimination Act. We look forward to working with all of you.